Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios in London with your international news around the world in 5.
US President Donald Trump has said he can't imagine why US hotline calls about disinfectant have risen after he suggested injecting the substance to treat coronavirus. The governors of Michigan and Maryland on Sunday blamed the president for the spike in such calls. Following heavy criticism from medical professionals, Mr. Trump said his remarks were made sarcastically. Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson has led a nationwide tribute to healthcare and other key workers who have died from contracting COVID-19. Healthcare workers across the country braved the rain as they held a minute's silence before erupting into applause to commemorate those who had lost their lives. Britain has one of the world's highest death tolls, with over 21,092 hospital deaths. Among those, 98 health and care service workers are known to have died after testing positive for the virus. New Zealanders are returning to some form of normality after they emerged from almost 5 weeks of strict lockdown. The alert level has shifted to level 3, allowing takeaway food shops and some non-essential businesses to reopen. Around 400,000 people returned to work after the Prime Minister shifted the country's alert level down a notch, loosening some of the tough movement restrictions that shut down businesses for weeks.
More people going back to work today, we need to be even more vigilant at level 3 to prevent any inadvertent spreading of the virus. We must continue to stay home where possible, including for work and education. Please stay regional and limit non-essential travel. And even though you can expand your bubble, keep it as small as possible and exclusive.
Muslims in Jerusalem have been gathering in large open spaces to ensure they keep social distance during Ramadan. Muslims would typically pack into Jaffa's Ottoman-era shrines for evening worship, but holding personal prayer rugs and wearing face masks, dozens of Muslims in Jaffa used parking spaces as social distancing markers on Sunday night as they congregated for Taraweeh prayers held nightly after the faithful break their fast. Israel has reported 204 deaths and over 15,500 cases of the virus. Palestinian officials have meanwhile reported 2 deaths and around 350 cases in the occupied West Bank and Gaza Strip. The Yellow Crane Tower, a landmark tourist attraction in Wuhan, the Chinese city where the COVID-19 epidemic originated, will reopen on Wednesday after almost 100 days of closure. Staff members at the scenic spot are disinfecting the area and making preparations for its reopening on Tuesday. Starting on Wednesday, the number of visitors will be capped at 5,400 daily. In the Lebanese city of Tripoli, following overnight clashes between anti-government demonstrators and the army. Protesters are angry at the country's worsening economic crisis, which has been exacerbated by the recent lockdown. The economic meltdown has rekindled a protest movement that first rallied in October to demand the overhaul of Lebanon's ruling elite. And finally, a man in Spain had to be rescued and taken to hospital after being trapped under foam from a leaked firefighting system. The leak flooded an industrial park in the town of Zaragoza overnight. It spread for 200 metres in the streets and was between 4 and 5 metres high. Since the flood, cars have been struggling to drive through the foam.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.